Good morning, Craig Howard here. Happy to be with you again this morning. I was reading something. I'm kind of a I don't know what you want to call it, a history buff when it comes to old Christian songs and just just the history behind what got the song written and what was the message behind it, what started it off. So I was reading a little bit today about a song, and it was first published by a British pastor. It was first written, I guess, by a British pastor back in 1779, and he included it in his. Good morning, Peanut. She heard me talking and had to come join. Anyhow, it was first published back in 1779, and he put it in a set of hymn books entitled Only Hymns, and it was number 41. And it was basically a pretty obscure hymn. Nobody really sang it much. Nobody really used it much. And it was only ever published in one other hymn book in Britain. The whole time it was there. And it wasn't until the song came to America and a music teacher in the Carolinas, I think it was in North Carolina, sat down and put it to a little more. Now we're talking about the 1800s, like the 1850s or something like that. Put it to a more modern sound or a more modern tune in around 1850. That it started gathering a little bit of popularity and people started taking a little bit of notice to it. I think it was Mahalia Jackson in 1947 who recorded it for the first time, and all of a sudden it exploded. And it has become the national anthem of the spiritual national anthem of the United States, and it has spread all over the world. There's been some slight lyric modifications to it, but all in all, it's basically still the same lyric, the same song that was written way back in the 1700s. And you think, well, sometimes what I do, it really can't have that much of an impact. The things that I do or the things that I say. Well, the song was Amazing Grace. And that song has touched more lives, been recorded more times than any other song, been published more than any other song, been set to different forms of music. The lyrics have been set to different forms of music more than any other song. The song has had an impact on lives. I can't help but when I sing it be moved by the song, especially that part when it says, when we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the stars, we're bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. It's a powerful, powerful song that's touched a lot of lives, and yet for John Newton, who wrote it, he would have no idea. He could not imagine the scope, the number of people that song has reached. But I wish you weren't so noisy. It's hard to concentrate. But here's my point. Here's the thing I'm getting at. Sometimes we do little, what seem like inconsequential things. I'm sure when John Newton wrote the song, he thought, this is nice. This is a good lyric. I like this. Or he wouldn't have put it in his hymn book. But I'm sure he had no idea that it was going to reach millions and millions and millions of people and be recorded untold numbers of times. You say, well, what's that got to do with me? I don't write songs. It has this to do with you. God doesn't call you to be great. He calls you to be faithful. Be faithful with the gifts that He's given you. Be faithful with the talents that He's given you. And just use them to His glory. And let Him take what you've done and do with it as He wills. You don't know, but what that small thing you do. I write Christmas plays. I've had a few of them published now. They're nothing that's ever going to end up in the Smithsonian Institution or the Library of Congress. They are not great literature. They're Christmas plays. But it's been fun to see how my simple Christmas plays have reached into other churches and other states and other communities and carried a simple message of the gospel to that place. My Christmas plays are never going to be like John Newton's song that has been sung around the world in every language and everything like that. They're never going to be like that. But God just said, be faithful. I'll never be able to write books like Max Lucado. I'll never be able to write hymns like John Newton. But just maybe, something simple that I do, if I'm faithful, will touch a life and make a difference. And you can do that too. And you know what? I was so interested in getting the story ready for this, I forgot to get my scripture. So you're going to have to look your own scripture up for today's devotion. I'm sorry. God bless. Have a great day.